Welcome, everyone. We're going to begin the webinar on duplicating difficult OE chip guard. I'm Melissa Jolls with RDA Impact. Larry Trexler, Marketing Manager, Technical Services and Training for SEM, is your presenter today. The presentation will take approximately 15 to 20 minutes. We are recording it and we'll post it on our YouTube channel. If you have questions during the webinar, you can type them in the chat box at the bottom right of your screen, and Larry will answer those during the presentation. Now, I'll turn it over to Larry.
All right. Thanks, Melissa. And thanks to all the members who are attending and watching. So as Melissa was just saying, we're going to talk a little bit about duplicating these difficult chip guards that we typically see on the lower panels of some vehicles. Part of my history here with the company, I've been with SEM for about 14 years, but I started as a salesperson. And as I would walk into shops, and I was always impressed because SEM had several aerosol products and some bulk products in quarts and gallons as well for chip guards. And as we started seeing some of these variety of chip guards coming out, I would walk into a shop and ask the guy, hey, what are you guys using to duplicate that with? And they would, whether it was the painter or the body guy or the prep guy, he would always point to a shelf on the wall somewhere, and there would be one aerosol can of product. And I would say, well, where are the other products that you're using to match these things? And they would say, well, that's all we're using. And as much as, sometimes it was a SEM product that was on the shelf, and as flattered as I was that they were using our product, there's such a variety of chip guards that are out there today. You're not going to match them with one aerosol product. And if you are, I can promise you this, you're setting yourself up for failure. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and why that is the case. But we're here today because we just launched a new product, and it is called 2K Urethane Chip Guard. The part number on this product is 52,000. And it comes in a kit with the two components that you see here. And we're going to talk a little bit about why the need for having a 2K product to duplicate all these textures. And as Melissa was saying, if you have questions, by all means, ask. Don't wait until the end. Of course, you can if you'd like, but ask away. So when we're talking about chip guards, you ask, well, what are chip guards? Well, first of all, they are the impact-resistant protective coatings that we commonly find on the lower body panels of vehicles, particularly, and it doesn't have to be just pickup trucks, but particularly we see them on pickup trucks. But you see them on cars as well. You see them on Volkswagens. I've seen them on Chevy Malibus. I've seen them on Honda Civics and Honda Accords. So you see them on trucks and cars alike. Why are they important? Well, they're important because they protect those lower body panels from chips, and they prevent corrosion from starting. So as you can imagine, if you're driving down a driveway or a gravel road, for instance, or even on a highway, and you pick up a little piece of pebble gravel in the front tires, that front tire is going to kick that rock back, and it's going to usually land on that rocker panel or that lower body panel that we're discussing. And if there is just paint there and no protective coating, then obviously it's going to chip the paint right off, and now you're going to have bare metal exposed, and that's going to start the corrosion process. So that is why they're important, is to provide that protection down at the bottom of the panel. But that isn't all. They also can provide that sound dampening, and they can lower the noise and vibration and harshness of the road noise that's coming through the car. So it's kind of a dual purpose role with these products. When it comes to industry knowledge, we talk about some of the challenges. Well, first of all, a 2K chip guard can eliminate common issues that occur because, when you're using a 1K product. And one of the most common ones is lifting or peeling due to solvent trap. And what I mean by that is that a lot of times, it depends on the shop and who's actually doing the application. But if it happens that it's a prepper, or if it's the painter, or even in the body shop, these guys don't have a lot of time to wait around. They're trying to rush things up, especially if the painter's doing this inside the booth. On an aerosol product, to get a really thick chip guard, you're going to have to put down multiple coats with a lot of flash time in between. Well, they just don't have that kind of time. So what happens is they pound it on with very little flash time in between, and then the next thing you know, they paint it. It looks beautiful. If a rock chip ever cuts through that coating, then what will happen is it will actually just release. It'll delaminate from the surface, and I've seen that happen. When you peel it up off the surface, it's actually stringy underneath from not being dry, and it can't dry. So that is a very common problem with guys trying to use a 1K product instead of a 2K. The other thing we mentioned was those longer top coat times and that inability to build the heavy film without having to put down many coats in those extended flash times. So when we talk a little bit about the application overview, applications obviously are going to be the lower body panels. We see them in the underbody area, wheel wells, textured, even on plastics. You'll see them on the front and rear bumpers occasionally. As we mentioned a moment ago, this is a job that's typically performed by the body tech or the prepper or the painter. So depending on the shop, it could be one of each that's doing it. As far as the duration or how long it takes to apply the chip guard, anywhere between 10 and 30 minutes, and that's using our product. With some of the other aerosols that are out there, it's going to be much longer of a process to do that. And it's got a difficulty level of medium. It's not that hard to do, but with the variety of textures, obviously you need to learn how to duplicate them, and we're going to discuss that here in just a few slides. So as far as a high-level overview of the 2K urethane chip guard, it's a job-sized product that's a two-component. It does use a hardener. It's a shake and shoot system, which is a really cool part of why we came out with it the way we did. Textured coating for reproducing a variety of textured chip guards found on those lower vehicle panels. Some of the features and benefits is the fact that it is a billable unit, the way that it comes packaged. It has that 2K durability with 1K convenience. It produces anywhere from a fine to coarse OE texture, and we even give you 16 defined textures that you can, with detailed instructions on the TDS for this product, and we're going to show you that here in just a moment. It is 50 state compliant, so you can purchase this product anywhere. It is non-yellowing and non-staining, and that's a big deal. Not only with chip guards that are liquid, but a lot of car companies are actually using the clear vinyl protective films, and those things yellow within months of having them. So this product is not going to do that. Another feature is that this product is tintable with solvent-based coatings because it is a solvent-based product. And of course, it is paintable. And you can also, if you tint it, you can actually use this as a textured top coat. It is impact and chemical resistant. And once again, it is that easy shake and shoot application. It's excellent for sound dampening and pinhole free, which is another common issue that we see with 1K products. So diving into the details of it just a little bit further, with the job size packaging allows the shop to be able to receive compensation. And this was a lot of the thought input that we had when we were coming out with this product, is we wanted it to be job size. We didn't, we had a product and still actually have a product in our line called Protex 2K Chip Guard, and it actually comes in a kit, but it's a quart of product. And then when you add the activator to it, it makes a quart and a half. Well, that's enough to do several vehicles, which also makes it difficult for the body guy or the painter or the prep guy to let the estimator know how much to bill out to the insurance company. So this is a billable unit. It is 8 ounces of the chip guard and 4 ounces of the hardener that comes with it. The really nice part about this is that we're going to show you here in a moment all the different textures that you can get. Well, you get those textures by spraying it with a variety of applicators. Anything from HVLP guns with a 1.4 all the way up to a 3.0 tip. And we also have a separate shoots gun that was designed specifically for this product. And what it is the pickup tube actually has a certain length on the pickup tube, so it can screw right onto the top of the canister and then be applied. It is tinnable, once again, with urethane base coats, and it can also be reduced up to 15% to further fine-tune the textures that you're going to run up against. It has a 20-minute to 4-hour top coat time, so once you're done spraying the product, 20 minutes is all that's necessary. You can wait all the way up to 4 hours. If you go past 4 hours, then obviously you're going to want to scuff it. But like I said, that's pretty fast. You know, considering most aerosols are going to tell you that window is actually going to be anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. So as a 2K, it's much faster. And it has a fast 20-minute pot life. So you when you're ready to spray, mix it up and you're ready to go. When we talk about the billable unit, this is actually a photo from the side of the box that it comes in, and it actually has a place on there that the technician can actually write in the RO number. He can easily tear this thing apart, staple it, or just paper pin it to the RO number, and that way when it goes back up front for billing, that was just used as a quick reminder that, hey, we did apply this kit to the surface.
Excuse me, Larry, I do have a question.
Yes. Absolutely.
So you just said urethane base coats. Can it be any solvent base coat?
So just like when we tint bed liners, I mean, we typically like to leave any of the binders or anything out of it. It needs to be straight colorant. And obviously the other thing that's important is, you know, the better quality base coat that you can use or urethane you can use, the better and is going to do. You know, the reason that we've always told people on bed liners, and especially with this product as well, to leave the binders out. You know, yes, there could be a compatibility issue that you always have to worry about, but more than anything, this is a tintable kit, so it's an opaque gray kind of color, and it's already transparent. Well, when you put binders into your colors, they're already, you know, it's going to just further wash out that color, so it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to get coverage, especially if you're trying to use it as a textured top coat. But yeah, like I said, it's just about any urethane base that you want to use. You can. I'd recommend leaving those binders out of it, and definitely unreduced. And if we have any other questions, like I said, send them in. We'll be glad to talk about it. So talking about the different textures that we have the capability of duplicating. This is a photo that was taken straight off of our TDS. And you can see all the different textures on there, from a very mild, barely visible, kind of a orange peeled kind of texture, all the way up to a very thick, what looks like bed liner type of texture. All of those can be done out of this one kit. And it depends. You can see the blue dots and the red dots. That depend. You know what we just we duplicated that with a regular HVLP gun or a shoots gun to get those two different types of textures. And we provide this for you, and these textures are numbered. So if you look at the bottom down there, texture 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you correspond that to the TDS, and you can actually find that. And there's a good part. That's a good segue to our next slide, which is the instructions on how to duplicate those. So it'll tell you on texture 1, and we obviously at the header would have said, hey, spray this with an HVLP gun. But you know, you're going to spray it with a 2.5 to 3 millimeter fluid tip, 25 psi, 10 inches from the panel, 1 medium coat, and you're done. So we give you the ability to duplicate every single one of these, and we give you the instructions on how to do so. Now the TDS, like I said, you find that right off of our website. which is semproducts.com. Very easy to find, and like I said, it's just a lot of information in there. I think the tech sheet for this product is about 5 or 6 pages long because we wanted to make sure that we covered absolutely everything. Another part of that is, when we talk about why we decided to do this, well, one of the most common vehicles that we have struggled with and body shops have struggled with for years are Toyotas. The Toyota Tacomas, the Toyota Tundras have a very thick chip guard at the bottom of the vehicle, and this was a product that even with our Protex 2K chip guard, we could walk into a shop and really help a guy solve these issues. Taking the 2K urethane chip guard just further advances that, because now you've got a kit that's a shake and shoot. All you do is pop the top off of it, pour the catalyst in, shake it up, and attach it either to the shoots gun or pour it into an HVLP gun, and you're ready to go. And it's very easy to do with no flash times in between each coat either. You can just put it on. The only time that you're going to want to add a flash time to the application process is in some of the textures. If it has a very coarse look on to the outside part of it, you'll apply all of the product down once and then give it a slight flash and then come back and put that kind of a light drop coat down on top of it. So there are a few that you may need to put a slight flash on just to adjust texture. And then when we talk about comparing the 2K urethane chip guard to our competitors, first of all, it's the only 2K chip guard outside of our own Protex product that's on the market. And it checks all the boxes. It's dual component. It's pinhole free. It's a tenable product. It comes in a billable unit size. You can spray it a variety of ways with HVLP, RP, or shoots application. You can vary the texture, and it has a very quick top coat time. When you compare that to everybody else's, there are some out there that do better than others, obviously, but you either have to have a special applicator for it, or it's a 1K product that takes a long time to be able to top coat, or you don't have the variability for the texture. And then as far as pricing, we stack up very competitively. Once again, this is a product that it was designed to be a billable unit, which is very difficult to do if you're trying to do that with a 1K product. You look across the bottom line here, price per ounce, and we're not going to be as inexpensive as an aerosol can, and we have aerosol can products if that's what somebody wants to use. But the one thing that I can tell you, at the national labor rate of $48 an hour, if it costs you 30 extra minutes to do that job because you're using a 1K product, it's cost you $24. If it costs you 15 more minutes, then obviously it's cost you $12. So certainly you have to factor that into the cost of a product. But even so, being that it's a billable unit, makes it very easy for the shop to get reimbursed. So in summary, the 2K urethane chip guard, it offers added confidence in the repair compared to a 1K solution, which are known for failing and causing complete redos if a guy puts too much on at one time. This is the simplest and most shop-friendly chip guard system on the market. It's a fair price in the upper end of the market range, but it's sold as a billable unit and is designed to ease compensation from the insurance company. This is also, it provides a complete texture range. Everything from slight orange peel to the bed liner textures are possible, and you can apply it with a wide variety of fluid tip sizes or even the specially designed shoots gun. So with that being said, I will open it up if there's any more questions. That's really all I had. We're excited about this product, but if you have questions about it, ask now. Of course, you can go onto our website. We have a video on this as well, so you can actually go in there and watch that too.
And I will also follow up with everybody who's on this webinar, and I'll send them, if you don't mind, Larry, I'll send them your contact information. We do have another question. We do have one more here. If you apply it thicker, should you have a coarser scratch?
So probably the best way that you can get that information, the sand scratch that you're going to put down really depends on the substrate that you're putting it on top of, not necessarily the thickness. But that's a great question, because on bed liners we usually say the same thing. Because you're putting such a thick coating down, sometimes it's faster to sand with a coarser grit. So I understand the want to be able to do that. But really what you need to do is go to our TDS and look at whatever substrate it is, whether it's primed steel or primed aluminum or whatever it happens to be. And you do need to be careful on some of these surfaces. Let's face it, if you're buying a replacement door, it's going to come with an E-coat on it. Well, that E-coat is paper thin. This is a urethane product, and it's not necessarily meant to go directly to bare metal. So we would like to not have to sand through that surface. So I would stick to the instructions on that one.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes.
When you tint, how much toner would you add in Chip Guard?
1 ounce. It's 1 ounce per container.
Anybody else have questions? After your activator? I guess so.
Yes, it'd be after the activator.
Okay. Okay. If there are no more questions, one more. Which is mixed 4-to-1?
What's that?
So it goes with this question on the toner. So it says after your activator, and then which is mixed 4-to-1?
Yeah, the activator to the chip guard ratio is 4-to-1. And like I said, the best part too is that we actually provide you a couple of different ways. So if you want, and this is all off of our TDS, when you find the mixing section, we'll provide you what we call the shake and shoot instructions, which is, hey, I'm adding the bottle of activator to the bottle of chip guard and adding 1 ounce of optional color. Now the color is optional. You don't have to tint it, but like I said, it is going to be a kind of an opaque gray color if you don't. So that is important to note. But you add all that in. Now, if you'd rather mix it by part, then yes, it's 8 parts of the coating, 4 parts of the activator, 1 part of the tint. And then if you want to mix it by ratio, it's actually, I think somebody said 4-to-1. It's actually 2-to-1, and then 10% of the tint. So like I said, that's all straight off of the TDS. Like I said, I would really recommend going there, downloading this thing. It is a wealth of information, a lot of information, but it is very detailed.
Okay. I don't see any more questions. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you participating. I'll follow up with Larry's information, and I'll send you the link to the recorded webinar. And we'll be in touch with future training opportunities. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.